Professor Dr. Zedju Khan sir. We have been joined by somebody who's a human rights activist. She's a lecturer too. Her name is Sidra Khan. Hello, Sidra. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you so much.
Thank you very much for joining us. So first of all, sir, it makes me happy that the federal cabinet and everybody adopted a resolution where we are going to observe Kashmir Solidarity Day on 6th of April, now inshallah every year too as well. How would you highlight the importance of this day?
Thank you very much indeed for inviting me here. I would like to start by expressing my sincere thanks for inviting on such an auspicious day today. And I would like to congratulate Government of Pakistan for passing this resolution of solidarity. I'm sure that it will send a positive image to the people out there. Now, as far as the question, very simple question you've asked, I mean, where do we stand today as far as human rights is concerned? Well, I'm afraid English lexicon totally fails me to find suitable word to express my disgust of the behavior of Indian government and the Indian army. And we have seen over the years, around about 70 years by now, if we just take those 70 years after the creation of Pakistan.
Exactly.
And the atrocities committed by the forces over there in the occupied Kashmir, extrajudicial killing, murders, and rape, torture, whatever. There's a long list of it. And I'm not going to go into the numbers game, but I mean, they exceed millions now as far as that is concerned. You see day in and day out on the television how the people of occupied Kashmir are reacting to them. And obviously my heart bleeds when I look and see that, I mean, people like me haven't done enough. And here we are after 70 years still saying promulgation of the United Nations resolutions require action. So I think that is the problem which we are facing. And no matter how strongly we condemn, we wouldn't be able to find suitable word. My heart goes out for these people, for the martyrs. And we will do utmost what we have done so far. But I think what we'll have to do is change our texts to some extent.
Okay.
As now what we have said in the resolution for this republic, for this day today, I think have we changed our policy? Because what we have to do is we have to see whether we can persuade the world, which we have not persuaded so far in the last 70 years, to come to a positive action. Government of Pakistan, with their own limitations, have done their best.
Exactly.
My salute to the Government of Pakistan, and particularly the armed forces of Pakistan, for saving us from that barbaric attitude which we have, and they are fighting, and my prayers goes with them. But I think people like me, what have we done? And that is what we need to do, because the perception which has been created needs to be changed. And for perception, the policies needs to be changed, and particularly the policies of the United Nations and the policy of those countries that we are relying on needs to be changed.
We'll definitely come back to this as well, But at the same time, Sidra, how would you, because you're that member of the society where you fall in the category of youth too as well. And I would love to know how the youth of Pakistan feels, first of all, on this day, and what kind of feelings do you get for our Kashmiri brethren?
Well, first of all, I would say thank you for inviting, and I would like to also congratulate PTV for actually giving this initiative and promoting and paying homage to all those martyrs, first of all. As far as your question is concerned, I guess I don't have to guess. I think everybody is quite aware, and we are very clear about it, that everybody inside Pakistan, outside Pakistan, no matter where they are, they feel for their brothers. They exactly know what their pain is. They want to do as much as they want to, they can. And most importantly, if they are doing it, they're doing it in a very different way. If they're writing, reading, speaking seminars, and talking on the different platforms they have. They have been trying to portray a very good image of Pakistan, as sir has just mentioned. But again, we are lacking few things. I mean, we are doing less. For example, we have not been able to manage our perception internationally. We're not able to give a positive image of Pakistan outside, because these things, they look very minute, but they have a very strong impact, and they have a very influential way. So Pakistan had been not very influential in projecting a very positive image of itself, although the youth have been doing much, but still a long way to go away.
Okay, but then at the same point, I was reading another article which was actually written by somebody from, not from Pakistan, he was from abroad, and he visited Pakistan, and then after visiting, he said that, for a positive image, which I think is an overused term now as well, or the soft image, this is what we call. But they say that, Pakistanis are responsible for their own image. Why do you think that, anybody else needs to fly in and, make some videos and talk about it? So how do we do that? And, or probably, we can definitely say that there's been interventions too as well within this dilemma. I'll call it a dilemma, or probably there's a stigma attached to the perception or to the image of Pakistan as well. We know how it is, we know how good we are, we know our extent too as well, but we cannot convince somebody else to say good about us. We have to do it, or we have to set examples. Are we doing that?
Oh, yes, we are actually doing it. I would say yes, we are. Though less, yes, but we are putting our efforts into it. Not only the people who are at the helm of affairs, but also the youth themselves. I'm talking about the civil society, I'm talking about the lower people, I'm talking about you, I'm talking about the media, I'm talking about every single person. But again, I might be a little, not blaming, but might be a little tacky about it, that it's this channel I'm talking about. I'm not just saying only this one. People have been projecting good image, but there are some people, because there are black sheeps everywhere.
Yeah.
So if the private media tries to project a very positive image themselves, because you don't get to see these sort of things, the initiative you take right now. So these sort of images or this initiative is not being taken by those people. If they do it and convey it, because they have a more broader
Spectrum.
Yeah, they have spectrum, and they can build discourses. They can narrate. They can help us in that way. So if they are not being helping the society as a fourth pillar, so if that will be a problem for them.
We will talk about that, but anything you want to add on to what I just asked
No,
about the image?
The image, first of all, what is an image?
Yeah.
And what is a positive image, as a matter of fact? If you look at the policies of any country,
Yeah.
then two things are very important, amongst many other things. One is the internal security, and the second is the goodwill outside the country as such. Now, as far as internal security is concerned, the perception out there is absolutely clear that we are secure enough and we can fight any aggression whatsoever. There's no doubt about it. Alhamdulillah, it's a very good notion. We don't have to work on that. What we have to work on is that why we have failed so far to convince the other countries to come to our rescue, if that is the right word to use, and at the same time help us out in resolving the issue of Kashmir.
Yeah.
Well, there are a number of things responsible for that. But the first of things, and I'm not criticizing my own country, Pakistan, what I'm simply saying is for that, unfortunately, we never had the time to have a consistent policy on Kashmir. Okay? Or our view projected overseas. So I mean, these are the two areas where we have to work hard on that. So the consistency is very important. Because what is happening is, for example, we react very quickly. Whenever there's a day, we react all over the world, and react, mashallah, very well, as a united front. But nevertheless, we do not continue with that.
Yeah. The consistency is missing.
And the problem is this, that if we want our matter to be resolved, people to help us out, that we have to change the policies of the government. For example, Great Britain, United States of America, European Union, and there are a few others that you can think of. Now, they have changed their policy. They are very happy to give you lip service. We have got committees here, committees there, and committee elsewhere, but they give you lip service, they don't give you anything more than that.
Exactly.
Because what is the problem? Problem is created by Great Britain to start with. It's an unfinished business of the division of British India.
Exactly.
And there are United Nations resolution of the 5th of January 1949, if you like, which gives the Kashmiris the right to plebiscite, self-determination. That has not been implemented. UN hasn't come into it. I personally know that I have worked very hard on that particular issue, that from time to time, we have fluctuated so far that we have missed the goal altogether. Now, to do that, we have to take lead from what we have done, where we have gone wrong, and put ourselves right. And that is the way to do it. But for that, there must be a consistent policy. For example, there's a Commonwealth conference during this particular month, head of the Commonwealth government. Now, we know what we are going to do in the United Kingdom, but is that enough? Is that a reactive? Or is that which is a part of our policy?
Yeah.
I think what we have to, and there are many leaders who will be taking responsibility to do certain tasks. What is the government of Pakistan's own view on that particular issue, and how we are going to keep it there? England, for example, has not only responsible for that, what's a lead country of United Nations has got its own weight to sit right behind Pakistan. We are the human rights champions. We call ourselves in England the human rights champion. Now, this is the worst or the best claim, the way you look at it, and why they haven't come to our rescue in that particular area. Can we send a positive message? But the vibes have to be converted into that. I'm talking about the perception of the people concerned.
All right.
People, so far, I mean, for example, there was a time when millions used to come out on one call. Now probably thousands used to come out on that particular call, and probably it is reducing because they say the word is changing. So we have to change our policy with that. There are plenty of good people sitting in the Foreign Office, sitting in the policy divisions of this country. How do we react to that? That is what we have to find.
Okay, we will definitely come back to this, that, you know, where we need changes. But then at the same time, we need to understand the other side of the picture. And then talking about the other side of the picture, now this recent surge in the atrocities by the, you know, Indian armed forces within the Indian occupied Kashmir, what message are they trying to convey? I mean, what are we supposed to perceive with that? I think if I may begin with Sidra over here.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So what they're trying to portray, first of all, going back to a little conversation we just had with the professor. All right. First of all, I would just a little bit not disagree, but slightly dissuade from the point that said, why do we need someone to actually help us out? We don't need anybody to help us out, because if we are saying ourselves that we are the champions of the human rights, and we are adamant enough that yes, we are going to help our brothers, then I don't think so we need anybody else from the outside to help us out.
This is why I said that, you know, we're going to come back to this point. But first, you know, what is the other image or what are we supposed to perceive by these rise in atrocities and killings of the youth and then elderly citizens and not allowing kids to go to school? What is this? I mean, if the world is changing, isn't it changing for them?
Yeah, they are changing for them too, and that is the reason we are saying it, that they are changing. What are you doing? We are still actually watching and looking at the world changing. Are we changing? Are we changing our policies? Are we consistent to them? Are we amiable enough to actually change ourselves with the world? So if yes, that's a good point. If no, we are in a very big loss.
I think adaptability of a resolution is a good omen too as well, all of it
But the adaptability goes with the practicality of that.
So now what do we perceive from the rise in atrocities by the Indian armed forces?
The rise in atrocities gives us one single message, that India clearly wants dominance in the region. It's showing its dominance with the help of a hard power, we can say, with the academic words we use. So it's a way, it's showing us that you can be something, but we are far more better than you. And we are doing it because we can exist, and we think that it's a part of ourselves. So they're trying to actually grasp it or take it away from us in a very harsh manner, not knowing that that can have possible consequences for them also.
Well, they never had consequences for the last 70 years. Let's hope that, you know, they're going to have it in the years to come as well. Sir, you wanted to say something?
Yes, I think it's very important to remember, first thing, that we are not the sole player in this. Oh. The word is playing with us.
Yes.
Rightly or wrongly, whatever it is, we have to persuade those who are on the wrong side to come to our side. That's very important. Singly sitting here, we will not be able to resolve the issue. So that is why we need the lobbying there. That's the first thing. What is India? The question, coming back to the question you've asked. India is bullying us, basically to surrender from our legal, rightful claim. And that is, they are doing. They should have learned by now that we are not going to surrender like that. We are a nation, and we have got the right to live as freely, as peacefully. India, at the same time, if you like, they consider that they are the best democracy in the world. If that is true, then where's the rest of the world? Yeah. And to check their own democracy, looking at their all simply human rights record. I mean, that barbaric I haven't seen since for the last 70 years. Yeah. So I think that's what we have to. So we have to have friends, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But what do we tell the friends to help us out? As I said earlier on, that we are very good at getting some lip service, but we do not want to just live with the lip service. We have to change our tactics to some extent. And I very much hope that the government of Pakistan, now having this and having secured their internal security, will probably concentrate more on the question of policy development in this particular area. There are a number of delegation I hear has been sent abroad. What is the real briefing to the delegation? Who they are going to meet? What level they are going to meet, and so on and so forth. I mean, we can suggest, we have got around about half a century experience in that particular area.
Exactly.
And we have to, we can suggest to them if they need some help. Otherwise, we'll keep on saying in any event, I mean, what they need to do and how they need to, they need to have their own expertise which they can use in that. And I think what we have to do is, right from today, other than programs which are going to happen on the 17th of April in London, we have to see from here onward, until the matter is resolved, what steps we are going to do. Some will be made public.
And then be consistent, I think.
And,
that's what we need
and
to
be consistent. And there should be a policy which should be known to people. You see, it's the perception of the people. I mean, for example, you might not be surprised at all when I tell you, we believe in Pakistan, sitting in Pakistan, we believe that everybody knows about the Kashmir issue. Sir, that is not true at all.
All right.
Even people do not know.
What's true then?
The truth is, we have to tell them that the truth. The truth is, we are a nation of 86, living on 86,000 square miles, 3 times bigger, as far as if you take a European example, Belgium and Netherlands together, we are 3 times bigger than that. So we are not a small, tiny, and there are 86 UN countries which are smaller than us. Okay,
Exactly.
That is the first thing. 13 million people live in that particular area who's asking for the set. That is not known to them. What natural resources we have, that's not known to them. Or if they are known to them, they will be only selective in that particular
So
area.
there are other issues too.
And there are the defense and strategic issues as well. These are the issues which we need to tell them. Then we also need to tell them, because India comes in and simply says, look, we are right. It's and a two-tongue of that. I mean, they're lying through their teeth, but we must have the courage, and we do it. We have to tell them, no, this is not the story. Here's the United Nations resolution, why it has not been implemented. Where's the audit for that? And I think these are the things which need to be told. For that, the selectiveness is also very important.
And we're definitely going to put this word forward too as well, but over here, once again, you know, I still want to reiterate upon this as well, that Pakistanis will definitely get what is theirs. We're not going to surrender. You know, Professor Dr. Zaidul Khan Sahab has actually mentioned it very wisely and in a very right tone as well. But at this point of time, we still have a song dedication, but this dedication is actually going to give you a message too as well. And the message is that we will never surrender.
Can I make one point before you?
Sure.
Yeah, because I mean, what I wanted to say is, I mean, appreciating what the government of Azad Kashmir is doing. One thing we can do very easily, if we raise the standard of the Azad Kashmir above other provinces of Pakistan, if you like, I think everybody from the other side will be then persuaded and simply, for example, education in Azad Kashmir, and infrastructure, you name it, health, social services, and so on and so forth. If you can improve on that, and which was very easy because it's a small area that we have Azad Kashmir, and it could be a model. If that model is there, other is going to follow us. Because then we have to show that, look, I mean, the Azad Kashmir people are so happy here that occupied Kashmir people would like to come
Definitely
here.
by setting examples, and even other than that, of all the provinces, we need to raise the bar, I think, and this is what it is. And we Pakistani people, you know, there was a report which came out and which said that are the happiest among the South Asian countries as well. So, I mean, we are happy people. We've already set the bar high, and we're already setting examples, and we're not going to surrender. And this is a tribute to all the martyrs of the Indian occupied Kashmir. May your souls rest in peace. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so now we are only left with 7 or 8 minutes of conversation, and this is the role which I'm supposed to play as an anchor person, as a host, and I think everybody out there needs to pay rich tribute and homage to all of those people who've actually lost their lives fighting for their right to self-determination. I mean, it's your right, and people have actually lost their lives to just get to that point, and inshallah we'll be there. We're not losing hope, and we will never surrender too as well. But now let's come towards a point where we seek for different solutions. I mean, for example, what is the role of media? What do we need to do? What do our youngsters need to do? What do our elderly needs to do? How do we reiterate and keep on reiterating and keep on going with some consistency and compassion?
All right. First of all, I have 2 to 3 ones, and the first one starts with the government first. Why? Because government is the one who has the highest possibility of people over there, and they can actually show these things. What happened after Burhan Wani and the pellet gun started going on? We have categorically people named. We know the cases. We have the names of those people. We have the pictures of those people. We have stories of this. So why can't Pakistani people, or we as a researcher, or as people, why can't we create a book of all these people, narrating all those stories? They have their pictures, their incidents, their timing, and how they were actually being tortured. We can list them down, we can formulate a book, and then spray to the world outside so that they have a proper manuscript of going on exactly how India is creating genocide inside Kashmir. That's one way of doing it. Second, what exactly the youth can do it. The youth exactly is playing less part, and that needs to forward it, and they need to catch up with the game, and that is how they need to write articles. Why? Again, I'm going to give you an example. For example, you just write the word Kashmir on Google, and the first 3 the sites that was NDTV, Press TV, and all that belong to India. So why is Pakistan over there? The 4th one comes as Dawn and the other people. So why are people, and why our students, or why our youngsters are not writing, not doing enough for it? So we need to do much more than that. Going back lower further, our teachers, our civil servants, they need to work far more better, not for their own country or inside. Yes, that's true, but they can project a very good image about that. So if the image is good, the writing is there, we have a government on our one platform, I think that'll be a good one.
All right, very nice. But sir, for you, I've got a different question.
Right.
I'm not going to ask you what solutions you might think of, because you're an expert in conflict resolution, human rights, and diplomacy as well within the European Commission. So you might have gone through quite a lot. How do we make both the parties, in fact, all 3 parties, sit on the table and talk peacefully?
Yeah.
Because that's the solution forward in my head.
That's quite right. I mean, and the most important thing is never forget that the resolution of Kashmir is directly related to the profile of Pakistan at the international level.
Right.
Okay, so we have to raise that first.
Okay.
And that is very important that we have to do. For that, what we have to do is, Sidra is quite right, that I mean, we have to motivate everyone concerned. In Europe, unfortunately, what is happening at the moment is the younger generation is losing heart there for the simple reason they haven't got the right information. For example, very simple, you mentioned it earlier on. For example, people do not know, India says it's an integral part, and they immediately cite accession treaty.
Exactly.
The treaty which was signed with the Maharaja by the British government at that particular time. Well, Professor Alistair Lamb of London has already published a book telling us exactly that neither Maharaja was there nor the treaty is right. It's a bogus document. That alone tells them what it is. There are a number of other questions there where they say, for example, they say rigged assembly in the 50s passed a resolution and simply said now the matter is resolved by that, and the United Nations has to come back using Article 103. We have to say that this is the right time when we pursue it. So that's the most important thing, because the Secretary General of the United Nations can refer this easily back to the Security Council, and simply there's this matter to be resolved. But what we need is we need support for that. Exactly. And we have to get that support by putting everybody together and raising the profile of Pakistan.
And we will definitely get it. Thank you very much, Professor Zajiv Khan, Dr. Zajiv Khan, and thank you very much, Sidra Khan, for joining us on this very important day, ladies and gentlemen. I think this is it for now. We'll really have to head out because we've got breaking news coming in, which might not be there in the repeat too as well. So for any further updates, you can definitely write to us on our pages, which is with the name of, on Facebook, World This Morning. On Twitter, it's World This Morning without a G. On Dailymotion YouTube, it's World This Morning. and the repeat's going to be at 11 p.m. Please know your role and then offer your services for your motherland. Look after yourselves. Good morning.